the people an idea on who you are and what you're all about.
Now, also, what I've noticed about you, that you said something that was really important. You said build relationships, right?
That's important, very important.
And with successful thinkers, we understand that.
Yeah.
But it's really kind of funny how people have gotten into the social media aspect of the world, and they don't talk. They just say, go to my website.
Yeah.
And they think that people are going to buy them or buy into them. But you and I have had many conversations. You talk to a lot of heavy hitters that have taught you some things.
Oh, yeah. I'm learning now. I mean,
but you were on the phone with them, too, right?
Oh, on the phone. Twitter is not my only thing.
No, I know that.
Yeah, it is.
But the point I'm trying to make is that there is this misnomer or perception that all you got to do is tweet, or whatever you want.
It doesn't work that way at all.
No, you've got to build those relationships.
Yeah. I use other things. I'm talking on the phone. I'm on the phone and tweeting. I mean, but I'm also using direct mail. I'm using other things. And there's also other things besides Twitter, of course. You got all the other social media things. But Twitter is what's hot.
Right.
Yeah.
Twitter's what's hot.
Twitter's what's hot. Right.
And it's important that, we put arms around this thing and help people understand the power of it and how to utilize it while they're using Facebook and some of the other social medias and successful thinkers. Robert, talk to us a little bit about this.
Okay. Well, I want to say a couple things. What Dave just said of building the relationship. Building the relationship within the Twitter community is very important because it's really no different than being in real life. You have common courtesy, you have ethics and etiquette, everything you want to still hold standards to. Now, one of the things I want to talk about, Jim and Dave, and talk about what Dave was saying about building a relationship, is that when you follow somebody on Twitter or somebody follows you, usually you want to check them out and see if they're a match for you. And if they are, and what you're doing in business, we're talking about business, follow them back. So they could, if you're running a product line, they might be a fan of your product. If they are, follow them back. That shows common courtesy, just like a fan club would if it was a celebrity. It's really interesting. These celebrities come onto Twitter and they get this huge following, but they're not following anybody back. So it's kind of like telling them, you're not really important to me. So that's one thing, that you must follow people back. That's very important. Follow and be followed is the concept. The other thing is that if you want to see and read people's tweets, you're going to find very interesting things, and especially if they're your clients or they're your friends or people that are just reading your tweets. And when you think about, wow, that was really a great tweet they just wrote, just don't think about it. There's a way you can magnify them or empower them or edify them, and what you do is you do a retweet. So if you have some of the systems out there that Twitter has as tools, you could just click one button and retweet, and that automatically raises to that person a highest compliment to that person by doing a retweet. Once you do that, and they could see that you're doing that, you're retweeting them, you're complimenting them, they're going to look at you and say, you know what, that guy's a really nice guy. I like him. So the next time you do a tweet, guess what happens to you? They retweet you in respect. So that's the common courtesy that I would say that it would work. Don't you think so, Dave?
Oh, absolutely. Totally agree with you. Retweeting is, when we're talking about marketing and business, retweeting is a very, very, very powerful thing. Maybe you only have 5,000 followers, but if you have, let's say 10 people that are retweeting and they all have 5,000, what does that add up to?
Right.
50,000
people with that message across.
Right.
I mean, that's very powerful.
Let's give the viewers kind of an idea of some of the things that we're going to actually teach them so that they can look forward to, because really nobody really knows. It's like getting the book. When you get a book, you don't know what's in that book until you buy the book, right?
That's right.
And the same thing's going to be true here. They don't know what they're going to be taught. So it's kind of nice to give kind of a sneak preview on what they're going to learn, but why they're going to learn these. Does that make? Because you said retweet. When you said that,
what's a retweet? I thought about that after we said it.
Yeah, you're kind of skipping up there. Well, but that is an important thing.
You mentioned tools, and you mentioned retweet, and the reason I bring this up, I'm the guy here that is the newest of the kid on the block, right? So I remember when you used those terms to me, and you said retweet, and I'm going, what's tweet? And then now I'm going to retweet something. I don't know what I'm tweeting.
We'll confuse you more. How about hashtags? Yeah, you want to do hashtags?
Yeah,
just don't smoke it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should edit this or not, but anyway, okay. All right, so let's kind of give a little list of things. let's not go into too much depth because it's too much information.
Sure.
And so it needs to be itemized, which is what we're doing, so that when they go in to learn, they're going to learn step by step and what they can learn about what they want to learn about rather than throw the whole load at them.
Sure.
Okay. So you can go first if you want.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, we'll teach you the basics. and basically, Jim's right. There's a lot of terminology that's being thrown around, and people are making up new words with Twitter all the time. For example, people in the Twitter world is called tweeple. And, and it just goes on. So because of that, they created a Twictionary instead of a dictionary, So,
I have twitdictionary.com. I own it.
Is that right?
Yeah, I own
that's good. All right.
Twitdictionary is mine.
That is awesome. So he's right. There is a learning curve just to know the language of it and to understand what it is.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah.
Robert. I got on Twitter. This is no joke. I got on Twitter, and I couldn't reply to anybody. And I actually had you on the phone one day and go, Robert, I can't find it. How do you reply to anybody? Yeah. And you started laughing. And you go, Jim, you just run your cursor over and it'll show up. I go, run my cursor over what? And it's true. If you're not on Twitter, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you're on Twitter, you can't see how to reply to somebody. It's like you have to be a wizard. And I don't understand why they do what they do, but they do it. Okay? And so the basics start the process. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was stuck on how do I reply?
Right. So the basics is important. Well, they do say, the experts say that Twitter is one of the easiest tools to use on the internet. And we're going to help you understand that because, like Jim says, maybe that wasn't the easiest thing to use. But we will take care of that, the basics for sure, and then there's going to be intermediate, and then there's going to be advanced. And Dave could give a little bit more details of the defining the basics and the intermediate and the advanced. But I could tell you this in a nutshell. The things that we will teach you, there's courses out there right now, and people are they just had a conference, and it was called TwitCon in San Francisco, and it was a huge thing. One of the things they defined is people that were the third-party applicators of making applications for Twitter are making enormous amounts of money helping out Twitter, understanding it, teaching, tutorials, lessons, products, services. They even have things that you could put in probes into your plants, and you put it into the dirt, and when the water it's not being watered that much, it tweets you and tells you your plant needs to be watered. So there's a whole array of things that you could use Twitter for. But one thing I could say is if you go out looking on the internet for these things, you're going to be charged money. And these are one of the things that probably we won't charge that much or very minimal. So Dave, with that in mind, the basics, the intermediate, and the advanced, what do you think about what would that be in a short term there?
Well, I was thinking on the beginning, we want to teach people how to set up Twitter. It's very important to have an attractive looking Twitter site. Some people are just using the default images. I would suggest to make them a little bit where they look like something unique, yours, something to match what product you have. I mean, if you have a product, then your product should be photographed and it should be displayed on your Twitter page. A lot of people kind of slop up on that. In fact, some people have problems with matching the colors. There's color schemes that you could actually manipulate the colors, and you can make your Twitter page look really very attractive. In fact, one of the things that I made sure to do, I have myself a blog, and I made sure that my Twitter page matched my blog color-wise. Went into that. And I would say that might be a little bit more than beginning, but we could get into that. For one, I think it's very important to make that Twitter page look professional. If you're trying to sell a product, let's make it look like the product, the quality. It's going to reflect the quality of the product that you're selling. So
if I could interrupt, I was just thinking of something. I wanted to say something about the organic benefit that comes from Twitter. You made a big deal out of this, and boy, did you prove it to me over and over and over again when it came to blogs that we put out, meeting locations that we put out, just events that were taking place. I was blown away at how high on the search engine.